Hello and welcome back to Studio Session. I'm Katherine and thank you so much for tuning in to another episode. Today's going to be a super fun episode. It's our holiday special. It's our last episode of 2023. We have a guest feature. It's going to be an amazing time. So starting off with today's report, for reading, I've been reading my old writing a lot recently. Whenever I'm bored, I'll just go into my Google Docs and just read my essays that I wrote in 5th grade, and they're really bad and it gives me a good laugh. For eating, last night I hosted my swim team's first pasta party, and the amount of leftover food and specifically Christmas cookies I am left with, I will be eating pasta, meatballs, and Christmas cookies for the next 6 months, I think. So will my entire family. For playing, I've been playing music that was released this year because that is exactly what I had to listen to in order to pick my superlatives for today's main segment. Hint, hint. For obsessing, I've been obsessing over simple gold jewelry. I love gold jewelry, but I just love kind of the more timeless pieces recently. For recommending, I recommend that over your Christmas break, you try something new. Pick up a new hobby, do something that you've never done before. You have the time, so why not? And finally, for treating, I've been really making sure to treat myself to some positivity every morning by saying my daily positive affirmations. That's it for today's report, and let's get right into our very fun main segment. I am joined with, of course, Lucas, but also a very special guest,
Lydia Paul.
and we are going to be reviewing what we think are the highlights of the music scene in 2023. So we have a bunch of different categories, and we're kind of going to be giving out these awards to the songs, the artists, the albums that we think most deserve them. So starting off strong with what we think is the best song to come out of 2023. Mine, if you saw the episode we did about Unreal Unearthed by Hozier, this is not a surprise. I literally said this is one of my favorite songs of all time, and that is the song De Selby Part 2 by Hozier. I adore this song. It came out in, I think, July or August of this year, and I've been playing it nonstop. It is just the most beautiful song, amazing vibe, amazing lyrics, and it's definitely my favorite song to come out of 2023.
I also went with a Hozier song from Unreal Earth. I went for the much more popular choice of Eat Your Young. But, oh my gosh, as soon as that song came out, I was obsessed with it, and it's so good. It's so good.
I said not Hozier, but Lovin' on Me by Jack Harlow. I just like this song. It's a pretty happy song. Runner up, though, I gotta give it to Lil Boothang. Since that song came out, since I heard it on TikTok, it's just been the most upbeat song, and anytime either one of those songs comes in, it puts me in a great mood.
I hate the song Little Boo Thing. I really do not like that song, but to each their own. Okay, moving on to what we think is the best album to come out of 2023. And again, not a shocker, I picked Unreal Unearthed by Hozier. When we reviewed this album a couple episodes ago, I said how excited I was to review it because I loved it so much, and I think that going back and reviewing the album has made me love it even more. This is just such an amazing track. Hozier's an incredible artist, and I think that definitely this was one of his strongest albums and definitely the best to come out of 2023 in my opinion.
My best album, I picked Guts by Olivia Rodrigo. For my best song, Bad Idea Right was my runner-up. So I listened to Guts religiously when it came out, and I think she made it into my top 5 Spotify artists for the year just from that album alone. So Guts has, and I like it much more than Sour. So Guts has a special place in my heart.
I'm not proud of this, but for my best album, I said Utopia, based solely on how much I listened to it over the course of the summer. The rollout was crazy, and there's just a lot of songs still that are on my playlist. So although it's not the strongest album, I'm giving my best album of the year to Utopia by Travis Scott.
Our next category is the best collab of the year, and I gave this to the song Margaret by Lana Del Rey featuring Bleachers. This song is so beautiful. It's kind of like an emotional ballad, and it's so good. It's kind of a more quiet, serene song, but I just loved it so much, and it's just a really magical tune. So I think that's definitely the best collab. I don't know a lot of Bleachers. I honestly don't even know if it's one guy or a band, but I like this collab a lot, so yeah.
I had a tough choice between 2 songs, both by Noah Kahan featuring other people of his songs released on Stick Season from last year. But I ultimately went with Dial Drunk with Post Malone. But it was between that or Everywhere Everything with Gracie Abrams. But I just think the one with Post Malone has such like a unique aspect to it that Post Malone brings to it, and I just think it was the best collab of the year.
My best collab of the year holds a very special place in my heart. I said America Has a Problem by Kendrick Lamar and Beyonce. And man, is this song great. I remember it came out the night my mom and sister went to the Taylor Swift concert. So I was just alone with my dad, and I was like, what's this on Twitter? Because I had Twitter back then. And I was like, oh, new song. And it's Beyonce and Kendrick. And you know I love Kendrick and I love Beyonce too. So when I heard this song for the first time, I was like, wow, this song is incredible. Best collab of the year for me.
Okay, so our next category is the best feature. So this could be just a line or like a part that an artist has in the song that we think really stuck out, even if it wasn't their song. And I'm kind of really upset Lucas mentioned that because I gave my best feature to Kendrick Lamar on America Has a Problem, which I think is so kind of out of character for me. As you can see, a lot of the songs I'm choosing are more like mainstream pop, like indie, alternative kind of thing. So to put kind of more of like a rap song on here, I honestly surprised myself. But when I was just thinking of features, this one immediately stuck out to me because it's so catchy. I honestly don't even know half of the words that this guy is saying in his lines, but it is just so fun, and I think it's the best feature of the year.
I'm not gonna lie, I had absolutely no idea what to put for this, but as I was researching and figuring out what to put, I came up with Telekinesis by Travis Scott featuring SZA and Future. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really know the song that well, but I listened to it a couple times leading up to this, and I like it. I like it, and you know, that was my choice.
My best feature is also SZA on Telekinesis. I almost levitated when I heard this for the first time. It was, obviously, you listen to the album at midnight, so it's like 1 a.m. at this point. We're deep in the album. And I was sick as a dog that day. So I was like on my last legs. And man, I heard SZA's voice and I just started floating in my bedroom, just chilling like, oh my goodness. Thank you, SZA, for this incredible feature.
Okay, our next category is the best artist of the year, and I gave this to our Times Person of the Year, Taylor Swift. She is just probably one of the most famous people in the entire world right now. She put on this entire incredible tour. She's re-recording all of her albums. She is just literally the it girl of the entire year. I think she definitely deserves the spot of best artist of the year. I've loved everything she's put out. Her tour, which I went to in May, was absolutely incredible. You can just tell how much dedication she put into it. And yeah, she is continuing to put out amazing things, so she's definitely my artist of the year.
Personally, I went with Olivia Rodrigo because, you know, Guts, I just think Guts was such like a monumental thing for her as an artist because a lot of people were wondering if she was just going to be like a one-hit wonder with Sour. And I think Guts really showed that she has what it takes to be in the music industry, and I think she solidified herself as like a really popular artist this year.
My best artist is also Taylor Swift. She's just unavoidable at this point. She might be the GOAT, and just no one stacks up with her repertoire in the current day. You go on the radio, it's like Taylor, Taylor, not Taylor, Taylor, not Taylor. We're talking 60% of the songs on the radio these days are Taylor Swift. And I think that's a testament to her work ethic, always putting out these new works, and they're pretty good. So I'm giving best artist to Taylor Swift.
Okay, so our next category is another artist category, and this is our breakout artist of the year. And I kind of interpreted this as an artist that may or may not have already had some hits, but really kind of proved themselves this year. So honorable mention to Tate McRae, but my first place winner was Sabrina Carpenter. Sabrina Carpenter has been releasing music for a couple years now. She was like a Disney Channel girl, so she's definitely been known for a little while, but I think this year she just really, really proved herself. I mean, she's right now, or not right now, but she just finished opening for Taylor Swift in her South American tour. And that's just incredible. And she's just becoming a rising pop star. Everyone is starting to know her name. She just dropped a Christmas album. She's just really doing incredible things. I think she's just going to continue to grow. So I think this was definitely her year, and I hope we get more from her next year.
I really wish I had thought of that because that's such a good answer. I could barely think of anything, to be honest, so I kind of cheated, but I said Noah Kahan, even though his album came out last year, but I feel like he really picked up this year, and I'm pretty sure he's still in the Grammy cycle for this year, so, like, it kind of counts, but I just think Stick Season was such, like, at least on, like, TikTok and stuff, like, he just totally came out of nowhere with it. And I looked, apparently he has other albums that I've never heard of ever. So I feel like Stick Season was just like a very big thing for him. And that's why I chose him for my breakout artist.
My breakout artist, I picked Lil Yachty because he completely changed his style. He was once a mumble rapper, which if you know me, that is my least favorite kind of musician. But he's actually transformed into an alternative Tame Impala-like singer. Oh my goodness, January this year, he released Let's Start Here, which was a crazy alternative album, and it was so good. It was not like his other mumble rap garbage, and I was really happy to see that. So in a year where I feel like there was some good breakouts, I'm giving it to Lil Yachty.
Okay, our next category is a little similar. It is our newcomer of the year, and I think that me and Lydia were definitely on the same wavelength for this one because I gave my newcomer of the year to Noah Kahan. Like she mentioned, he does have some other albums, and even though his album Stick Season kind of more blew up last year, I think that this year just really, really proved himself. I don't know all of his work. I've been trying to kind of listen to more of his music because I do really like what I've listened to so far. But yeah, I think this was just his year. He's all over the radio. He's becoming bigger and bigger. I know so many people just absolutely adore his music, and he's just a really great musician. And I think this year was definitely his year, and I'm looking forward to see what he does next year.
So I kind of have two for this category because I have one that, like, makes more sense, but I have one that's, like, kind of a personal choice. So my personal choice is, I don't even know how to pronounce her name, but like Laufey, I don't even know how to say it, but she's like a jazz artist, which is like kind of out there. Like I feel like there's not a lot of modern jazz, but I feel like her album Bewitched this year was like, it was just so good. But my more popular choice is Ice Spice because she just kind of blew up this year and came out of nowhere. But yeah.
I also said Ice Spice. And there was this period of time where I feel like you couldn't do anything without seeing Ice Spice, especially, you know, just around the time she was really coming up. It was special to see. So as someone who had never even heard of her before the year, I'm saying this is that she's on the scene now, so my newcomer of the year is Ice Spice.
Okay, our next category is our most underrated song of the year. So this is actually my runner-up song to the best collab. I was almost going to give this song best collab, but I figured I wanted to include both of the songs, so I would put this one in most underrated. And I gave it to No More Lies by Thundercat and Tame Impala. This is just such an upbeat, kind of like groovy song that makes me want to get up and dance. And yeah, I just really like it. I remember the first time I heard it, I didn't really know what to expect, but I definitely fell in love with the song, and it's one of the most underrated of the year.
Mine is more so underrated on the album. Like, obviously it's a very popular song, but, like, it doesn't get as much credit as I think it deserves. So I chose another Olivia Rodrigo. I chose Pretty Isn't Pretty off of Guts. It's near the end of the album, so I feel like a lot of people don't, like, acknowledge it as much as a lot of the more popular songs. But I think it deserves just as much credit because it's still such a good song, and, like, the message behind it is so relatable to a lot of people. And I just think it's a little underrated for what it is.
So for my underrated song, I actually crossed off 3 songs to get here. I crossed off Del Resto by Travis Scott and Beyonce. America Has a Problem. I didn't want to repeat that. And my runner-up was Bad Blood Taylor's version with Kendrick Lamar. I thought it was so special he went back and recorded that verse. But this was a tough category for me. I settled on Kitchen Lights by West Side Gun featuring Stove God Cooks. This song it's just good. It's like a little happy song in a kind of dark album. And I was thinking, this is more a nod to West Side Gun. He had a great year this year. And yeah, so I don't really have a lot to say about this one because it's West Side Gun. But, you know, underrated song, I'm going Kitchen Lights.
Okay, our final category for our little awards show is the most underrated album of the year, and I gave this one to the album Good Riddance by Gracie Abrams. I'm a huge Gracie Abrams fan, so this wasn't surprising for myself that I chose this, but I just absolutely love this album. So many amazing songs, and yeah, I don't really know how to say it. I just love Gracie Abrams, and this was definitely an amazing addition to her discography.
I chose This Is Why by Paramore because I feel like Paramore used to be absolutely huge, and I feel like not that they've fallen off, but people don't like think of them still making music that much anymore. And so they just came out with this album, I think it was very early this year. And I just don't think that it got a lot of attention, I feel like. But it has some really good songs on it, so that's why I chose it for my underrated album.
My underrated album, I picked Michael by Killer Mike. Now, I said this on last week's podcast. As time has gone on, I've started straying away from rap music because I believe that it's just not for me. I like that new alternative stuff. But man, this album is like a lasso, just tying me back in like a loose bull. Came out pretty early in the year. Killer Mike has been around the game a long time, a big Atlanta guy, and this album is just a big storytelling album. It's his first solo project in a really long time, and I really appreciated it for what it was. I really, really like the first song, Down by Law, which has a choir, very church-esque, and there's a CeeLo Green feature, which will have you levitating similar to SZA on Telekinesis. So my underrated album for this year is Michael by Killer Mike.
All right, that is a wrap on our main segment today. I hope you guys enjoyed our little award show, but stay tuned because we have even more fun things coming next. So let's get right into our playlist essentials. Okay, so today's playlist essentials, because we're kind of wrapping up the year, Christmas is in 4 days when we are recording this, which is absolutely insane. I think because it's just not snowing, it just does not feel like it, but 4 days, which is crazy. So for our playlist essentials, we are doing our top 3 Christmas songs of all time. Now, I am a huge sucker for Christmas music. I have so many favorites. It was so hard to narrow this list down to 3, but I think I did it. I think my third place could kind of have a lot of different options, but these are the 3 that I think are the 3 best. So starting with my number 3 spot, I have Happy Christmas, also known as War Is Over, by John Lennon. This song is just, it's so good. It's powerful, it's emotional, and like it just really makes you reflect. Another year over, what have you done? Like, it just makes you think about the year. What have you done this year? And it's just, I like Christmas songs that are very emotional, and I think this is definitely one that makes me tear up a little bit. So this is my third place song.
So I didn't really put them in any order, but we are very much so on the same page because I also put Happy Christmas, War Is Over by John Lennon. Basically everything that you just said, like, it's just, every time I hear it, it's not even like it's one of those, like, necessarily quintessential Christmas songs because it's not even like it's that, like, upbeat, like Mariah Carey or anything, but, like when you listen to it and you, like, actually think about it, it's just, like, such a genuinely good song that just happens to be a Christmas song.
So I am on the same wavelength as Katherine. I think there's just so many Christmas songs that are so good, and it's really hard to narrow them down. For my third place, I'm going with Someday at Christmas by Stevie Wonder. This is not your most upbeat song, but Stevie Wonder is such a soulful dude, and I've been a big fan of his since like 5th grade. So this song entering my rotation could have been kind of expected, but I just love listening to it like a lot of Christmas songs, and I'm going to give it the third place nod for this category.
Okay, so for my second place song, I have a song that I think is probably a lot of people's number 1. I don't know if I'm foreshadowing either Lydia or Lucas's number 1, but I gave it to Last Christmas by Wham. This song, I honestly listen to this song year-round and just will never get tired of it because obviously it is a Christmas song. It has the word Christmas in it, and it's a story that happens around Christmas, but I think the lyrics are just kind of relatable for any time of the year. I don't know, it's about a heartbreak. It's just such a good song. Words cannot describe it. It's just, we all know it, we all love it. Wham did an amazing job with this one.
For my second pick, I chose another Beatles person, but I chose Wonderful Christmas Time by Paul McCartney. again, I just every time I listen to it, it's so good. Like, I don't even know what it is specifically about the song, but it's just like a wonderful Christmas time, you know? Like, it's just Christmassy.
So for my second song, I said Last Christmas as well. I just love the kind of the story in it, and it's almost an emotional song in a way, but I put it this high because it's one of those songs where if I hear it in a given day, it's in my head for the rest of the day, no questions asked. So I'm saying Last Christmas. I just love this song.
Okay, and that brings me to my number one spot. And like I said, I'm a huge sucker for the really emotional Christmas songs. So my first place, this has been my favorite Christmas song for years and years. I will just never get tired of it. And that is Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. There are a bunch of different renditions. I don't have a particular favorite one, I think, but oh my god, the vocals in this song are just amazing. I don't even know how to explain it, but like when like the little orchestra in the back goes like, ah, it's just nostalgic to me for some reason. And this one always makes me cry, and I don't tend to really cry when like listening to sad songs or sad movies, but this one just does it for me every time. It just makes me think of growing up and like my childhood Christmases, and it's just so good, you know? Kind of another one that makes you reflect on the year, kind of like Happy Christmas. I don't know, just something about it will do it for me every single time. So Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas is definitely my favorite Christmas song of all time.
I'm gonna loop back around to last round. My top pick is Last Christmas by Wham. It's just like it's one of those feel good songs that whenever you hear it, like Lucas said, like it just gets stuck in your head. Like you feel good when you're listening to it, but it's also like a meaningful, like, you know, the message behind it is there. But I do have an honorable mention that's not like recorded anywhere. It's only on YouTube, but it is specifically O Come Emmanuel, recorded by Tyler Joseph. Every time I listen to that song, it just like it like pulls on my heartstrings. It's so good, but it's not recorded anywhere. So it's like kind of annoying that I can't listen to it more, but that is my honorable mention as well.
I'm going to get my honorable mentions out of the way too, and I'm giving it to the goofy Christmas songs that you just get a good laugh out of. I'm talking Dominic the Christmas Donkey. He's Italian. And the Alvin and the Chipmunks, Christmas Don't Be Late. 2 songs, guilty pleasures of mine. But for my number one, I'm going This Christmas by Donny Hathaway. Just a great upbeat song. When this song comes on in the car, I feel like Patrick Beverley after he won the in-season tournament, or the play-in, where he climbed on the scorer's table and threw his jersey into the stands, because I just get so hyped whenever the song comes on. It's awesome. It came on in the pasta party yesterday, and I was like, oh, let's go. And yeah, I think This Christmas is better than Last Christmas. Might be an unpopular take, but that's what I'm nominating for my number one Christmas song, although there are many bangers.
This was so hard for me to pick just 3 favorites. I had so many honorable mentions. Shout out to Christmas, Baby Please Come Home. It's what almost made the list until I thought of Happy Christmas. Underneath the Tree, also an amazing, more poppy kind of Christmas jam. But yeah, there are just so many that it was so hard to make the list, but I think I'm pretty content with my top 3. All right, that's it for today's Playlist Essentials, and let's get right on to our final segment. Okay, so for our final segment, we have what to expect next. So because Christmas is right around the corner, no artists are really dropping anything notable, no really big album releases. They don't want to compete with all of the Christmas music that's going to be streamed a ton this weekend, I guess. So no album releases for this Friday. But what to expect when we come back from break, it's a new month, it'll be January, so we're going to have a new theme. This month was alternative, as you guys know, but January's music theme is going to be a little throwback month. We're going to go back to the 90s and then even deeper into 80s, maybe some 70s. So I'm just excited to kind of explore some older music. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's holiday episode. Do you guys have any closing remarks?
I was just gonna say thank you so much for having me as your first guest on the podcast. This was so much fun.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening. I'm very excited for this next month coming up. It's really just a lot of great old albums that are, predating my birth is the benchmark I tend to use. And yeah, thank you guys for listening. Have a Merry, Merry Christmas, and hope everyone's rocking around the Christmas tree. Happy holidays to everyone else that's not celebrating Christmas out there. New Year's coming up. Let's get those resolutions in before, because starting your New Year's resolution on New Year's just means you're waiting to lose. So thank you for a great year.
Thank you so much for listening. Have a very happy holiday, and we'll see you next year with Studio Session. Bye.